MLS Monday. We are working through RentSpree. We've got Steven here with us, right from RentSpree. He is our favorite person over at RentSpree. He does really, really good classes for us. So if you guys are working through rentals, if you are looking into property management, anything like that, this is a great program that's offered to you guys through the Florida Gulf Coast MLS. So with that, I will give Steven the floor.
Thanks so much, Joanna. And it feels like yesterday we were doing the last MLS Monday with everyone back in July
Yeah,
of last year, I think it was.
yeah.
And time flies, as you said, and things have definitely changed a lot here since then. We've launched some new products, which I'm really excited to talk about today with you guys. So let's go ahead and dive right in. And just to give you a refresher, RentSpree is the highest rated tenant screening solution out there on the market. And we've been partners with the association since 2021. And we've also partnered with many other MLSs all across the US, and we have a really strong presence in Florida. So we also work with Naples, Bonita, Stellar MLS, Beaches MLS, and many others as well. So we have really good coverage throughout the whole entire state. RentSpree's goal is to help simplify the entire rental process from listing to lease. So we're going to assist you with marketing your rental, making sure that your listing received as many eyes as possible. Obviously, our flagship product is tenant screening, which many of you may know has the application, the credit report, the background check, and the eviction history. And then we also assist you with the move-in process. So every time you receive an application package back from a tenant, you're going to have the option to either accept or decline those applications as they come in. And then finally, we also assist you with the payments process. So once you start moving in your applicants and they become your tenants, we help you collect the monthly rent through the RentSpree platform as well. So it's really a full-scale rental solution that's going to help you not only with receiving those applications, but also with maintaining the relationship with your tenants as well. I'm going to go ahead and share a quick little user testimonial from one of our power users. His name is Kyle Sterling. And let me see if I can get this sound to work here. And we'll go ahead and play the video for you guys.
So the rental platform that I use is RentSpree. And this is not an ad, this is legit free game. I love this platform, it's amazing. So let me tell you why. It allowed me to take in applications from my tenants. I accepted my tenant's application through the program. They got their rentals insurance through that platform. Then they pay their rent. If they have any concerns about the property, they write their concerns request on RentSpree and I get a notification. They get reminders when rent is due. They get reminders when they're past due on their rent. This is a one-stop shop for your rental properties.
So the last phrase that Kyle used in his testimonial was a one-stop shop. And I think that's the perfect way to describe RentSpree's mission. In the past, a lot of realtors were using 4 or 5 different programs and working with a rental, right? They were using tenant screening software, they were using a payments platform, messaging platform, email, they were collecting paper applications. It was just all very convoluted. And by having everything done through RentSpree makes it so much easier for you to collect those applications and streamline the process so you can focus more on your sales transactions. And one of the main benefits of using RentSpree is that we're fully integrated with your MLS. So this means that whenever you're adding in a rental listing into a matrix, you're going to have the option to choose RentSpree online application as part of your tenant screening. And this means that whenever you choose yes on RentSpree, you're going to receive an apply link via email. And that apply link is a unique application link specifically for that listing. In addition, that link is also going to be automatically written back into the MLS as well. So if you're sharing listings directly from Matrix, that RentSpree link is going to appear directly on the listing. But it's really intended for you to share easily with your applicants. So if you advertise your rentals on Facebook, email blasts, social media, your website, you can paste this apply link anywhere you want. So it's really intended to be super convenient and easy for your clients to access. And then once you start getting out that apply link, it's going to be up to the applicants to submit their application. And once they submit it, you're going to receive that application, the credit report, the background check, and the eviction history. It's all going to be condensed into one easy to read document. So you can see here we have a quick sample. You can view the different tabs at the top of the screen to navigate throughout the report. And then in addition, the applicant is also going to receive a copy of this tenant screening report for their own use as well. So you get a copy and the applicant also receives a copy, which you can then forward and share directly with the landlord or the property manager as needed. And as far as the renter is concerned, they don't have to pay the application fee every single time they apply to a different rental. Instead, RentSpree now gives them the option to apply a $15 reusable application fee, which means they can reuse that same application package for applying to 5 rentals per day up to a 30-day period. So instead of having to pay the standard screening fee, which is currently $39.99 for every single rental, they can instead pay the $15 add-on fee and reuse that same application for those different properties. So it's going to be a huge time saver and a huge money saver for them as well, especially now because it's the spring season and there's a lot more rentals on the market. Let's go ahead and talk about payments now. So RentSpree gives you the option to also collect those one-time and recurring payments for your renters. So once you start onboarding your tenants and you have them ready for their monthly payment, you can use RentSpree to link your tenants' bank accounts and your landlord's bank accounts all in one platform. So what this means is that you have an easy way of streamlining the payment process, and the renter can pay the rent either with a bank account or a credit or debit card. If they pay with their bank account, there will be a $3 fee per transaction for the landlord. And if they pay with a credit or debit card, it's going to be a 3% fee of the total transaction. So you have those two different options. In addition, you can also use our payments platform to do those one-time payments, which can be a security deposit, pet fee, etc. And then once the end of the year comes, RentSpree is going to send you a 1099 form so you can report the payments directly to the IRS for tax purposes. I also want to discuss our newest feature, which is called income verification. So with income verification, RentSpree gives you the option to collect a report that lists out the last 2 years of income for every single applicant that applies to your listings. The way this works is that you will have to ask the tenant to pay a $10 add-on fee to provide this income verification report. And this report is powered by Finicity, which is actually a MasterCard company. The way the workflow works is that once the applicant pays the additional $10 for the income verification report, they're going to be asked to log into their bank accounts. So if they have more than one bank account, they're going to go ahead and log into both of those accounts. And what's going to happen is that our Finicity system is going to sync their bank account information directly to RentSpree, and it's going to provide you with an itemized report that lists out the last 2 years of income deposits. So you can see that the applicant is really making the income they say they're making. And it's also going to state out the last net gross income and the net and the gross income as well. So let's break down the fees really quickly before we go into the demo portion of our session. So number one is the rental application, which is free. So if you are doing pre-screening instead of having to collect everything at once, you can just collect the rental application first and then start having the applicant pay for the credit report and the other items there as well. The credit report currently costs $39.99, and that does automatically include the background check and the eviction history. However, we do give you the option to deselect those items if you prefer. And then the last item you see there is the income verification, which will be a total of $10, and that'll bring the total screening fee up to that $49.99. As I mentioned, the income verification is entirely optional, but we do recommend it, especially if you are working with landlords that really like to verify that income instead of having to collect those pay stubs and W-2s. And because the applicant pays the screening fees directly to RentSpree, this means that RentSpree is entirely free of you to use as a member of Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association. To sign up for RentSpree, you have a couple different options. I'm going to go ahead and walk through those here as well, but you can scan the QR code on the right-hand side of your screen. I'm going to go ahead and leave that up for a few more minutes so you can take the time to scan. But you can also visit our partner page, which is rentspree.com/partner/RPCRA. Once you go to that site, you're going to see the RentSpree logo as well as the Royal Palms logo there as well. And all you need to create your account is an email address and password, and you'll be ready to start tenant screening in less than 5 minutes. I'll leave this up on the screen in a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen, and I want to show you how to access RentSpree within the MLS. So let's go ahead and switch our browser window. And once you log into your MLS dashboard, you're going to see the RentSpree logo in the middle of the second row under the core tools section. So this is another way to access RentSpree. And this is called the single sign-on tile, which means you can use your existing MLS credentials to log into RentSpree. So you don't have to create a separate username and password. And if you go to your MLS, as I was mentioning, RentSpree is the only platform that is fully integrated with your MLS system, which is Matrix. So once you go to the input section and you're adding in your residential rental listing, you're going to see that the RentSpree field is a dedicated field within the listing input section. So we're going to start with a blank listing. And if we go to the financial section here at the top, you're going to see the RentSpree field at the top here called RentSpree Online Application. It's actually a required field. And if you click on the drop-down, there are two options, yes and no. So if you choose yes, that is going to generate that apply link, which I was mentioning earlier, which will be sent to you via email. And it's also going to be written back directly into the MLS listing itself. So once you are sent the apply link via email, you're going to go ahead and log into your RentSpree account. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and go to the RentSpree page. And as you can see, we have the RentSpree logo here on the top left and the Royal Palms logo here in the middle of the screen. We have the option to start screening, and we can also book a demo. So if you click on book a demo, this will take you down to our calendar where you can view available dates to meet with one of our customer support reps. And I would definitely encourage you to consider these meetings because they are one-on-one. And they're perhaps the best way for you to get an immersive feel into our platform and get your questions answered in real time. But if you want to log into your account, you're going to go ahead and go to the top right-hand corner of your screen and click on Login. And as you can see, you can choose to continue with your RPCRA credentials, or you can enter in your username and password. I'm going to go ahead and enter in my user and password now. And once I click Login, that is going to take me directly to my RentSpree dashboard. And the RentSpree dashboard is where you will see all of your active rental properties, as well as all your active tenants as well. So if you click on the screening tab on the left-hand side of your screen, we will see the list of the renters that have applied to each of our different listings. Once we click on Screen New Tenant here on the top right, we'll be asked to choose which property are you screening for. And we're going to see the list of properties here in the dropdown. And once you opt into RentSpree via the MLS, those properties will automatically be synced into our platform, and you can view them directly from the dropdown. So once you choose your listing, you can choose Next. And the first window you will see is called Select Application Options. The first choice you'll have to make is who will be paying the application fee. RentSpree does give you the option to cover the fees on behalf of the renters, so you can choose to have me paying the application fee. However, in most cases, the realtors do choose to pass on the screening fees to their renters. And then the next option will be to choose your application type. You can choose to use RentSpree's own application, or if you're working with an HOA that has their own forms, you can choose no application here as well. And then the next option, step number 3, is to customize the screening reports. Everything is listed out as a checkbox, meaning you can deselect the items as you prefer. I do want to quickly mention that you will not be able to choose the eviction or the criminal background check unless you first choose the credit report and score. So once you choose the credit report and score, you can add on the additional items here. And I do also want to mention that the credit report and score does include applicant identity verification. So to apply via RentSpree, your renter needs to have either a social security number or an international taxpayer ID number. Without either of those two, they are not able to apply via RentSpree. In addition, they will be asked a couple of challenge questions to verify their identity, and that is based off the SSN or the ITIN. And if they fail to answer those questions correctly multiple times, they'll be locked out of the RentSpree system. The last item here is the income verification report. As you can see, it provides you with real-time bank data, which is going to show the income and the employment. In addition, you also have the option to request documents from your applicants for that income verification there. And you also have the ability to collect an ID from your renters. If you click on this blue link called Customize Document Request, you're going to see a window pop up on the right-hand side, and you have some additional options for proof of income, bank statements, IDs, W-2s. So you can have the renter submit these items optionally, but it's just all included in the income verification report, so it's worth it to include it there if you have that ability. As you can see, now we have the total screening fee being $49.99, and once you click on Next, you can start sharing your application link directly from the dashboard. So you have a couple different options for notifying your renters to apply. Number one is you can send a request via email or text message. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in my renter's email into the gray box, and I can enter in more than one email. And once I enter in my emails, I can hit send request, and my clients will now receive an email notification from RentSpree inviting them to apply. The second option is to share your application link. And this apply link, as you can see here, you can easily copy and paste it directly onto your website or your social media. And then the last option is an amazing option if you're doing open houses or showings. It's called the print application flyer. I'm going to click on print so you can see a quick little preview of what the flyer looks like. But essentially, it's going to have the property address. It's going to have the name, the email, and phone number of the listing agent. And on the left-hand side are the items the applicant needs to submit in order to be considered. And on the right-hand side is this QR code, which the applicant can scan with their phone to actually begin applying for the property on the spot. So this is going to be a huge time saver, especially if you're meeting applicants in person, because you can print out a stack of these flyers and hand them out, and applicants can begin applying for the property as they meet you. Let's go back to the dashboard, and once we click on continue, you will see a pop-up called screening is set up, now reach more renters. So RentSpree does give you the option to advertise your rental on some third-party listing sites, including rent.com, apartment guide, and realtor.com as well. So this gives you more visibility for your listings. And this is available as an option if you add your listing onto RentSpree, but we do encourage you to add your listing onto the MLS because you'll receive a lot more visibility. In addition, because RentSpree does work with Naples and Bonita, your apply link will be visible to those renters in those areas as well. If we click on the properties icon here on the top left-hand corner, you can see a list of your active rentals. And these are rentals that are currently available for tenant screening. If you have already rented out your property on the MLS and mark it as expired or closed, that's going to automatically deactivate tenant screening on RentSpree. In addition, you'll have the option to also close off tenant screening within the RentSpree dashboard. You can do that by clicking on these three dots here on the right-hand side of your screen. And you can choose Archive Property. And this is going to disable both tenant screening as well as listing syndication. And once you click Confirm, the property is going to disappear from your active listings, and it's going to go ahead and move back to your archived listings. So if you click on Archive Listings, the property will show up here at the top. And if you would like to move it back to your active listings, you can choose Unarchive, and that will move it back to the active listings window. So now that we've covered the basics of tenant screening and how to manage your listings, let's click on the Payments tab on the left-hand side. And the Payments tab allows you to view the list of upcoming payments that you have for your rental properties that you have set up on RentSpree. It's also going to give you the name of the tenant who's paying the rent. You'll have the due date. You're going to have the rent amount. And then lastly, you'll have the status. If you would like to add a new payment, you're going to click on the Collect Payments tab here on the upper right. And you'll first be asked who will be receiving this payment. You'll have the option to choose yourself or your business or my client. In this case, I'm working with my landlord, so I'm going to choose my client here. And we can enter in the landlord's first name, last name, and email. And then we can choose to add the property and choose the tenant here as well. And once we click next, we'll be asked to choose which payment it is. In this case, we're going to go ahead and choose the rent. And then we can set it up to be a monthly payment or a one-time payment. In this case, because it's the rent, we're going to go ahead and choose the monthly payment schedule. And we'll have the rent be $1,800 per month, starting on April 1st, 2025. And if there's no end date, the payments are going to continue month to month, but we're going to go ahead and choose the end date being April 1, 2026. Once we choose next, we'll be asked to confirm the payment details. So in this case, we have the recipient, the tenant, and the property, and then a quick little detail about the funds. So once the tenant makes the payment, the funds will be deposited within 2 to 5 business days, and that $3 processing fee will be deducted. And then it's a 3% fee if they pay with a credit card or debit card. And then once you hit send request, that is going to send a payment request to the tenant. And we've also notified the landlord there as well. And all the landlord has to do is basically link their bank account with RentSpree to automatically start receiving those income payments every single month from the rental. The last icon I want to cover here is the marketing tab here on the lower right. So if we click on the megaphone icon and choose professional profile, you have the option to create your very own agent profile page on RentSpree. This is very similar to LinkedIn. As you can see, we have the option to add in a cover photo, a headshot, a brief bio and introduction, your experience, expertise. And at the bottom, we can have your active listings display here as well. So if you have a renter who is viewing your branding page, they can scroll down and they can see a list of your active listings and actually apply from those pages there as well. If you scroll all the way down, you can see that we have a section called Reviews, and it's marked as Pro. If you subscribe to RentSpree Pro, that is going to unlock unlimited reviews for your agent profile. And every time you have an interaction with a renter through RentSpree, they're going to be sent an email asking them to leave you a review. And once they start writing up those reviews, you can view them directly on your agent profile page, which can help boost your credibility within the industry. I briefly mentioned RentSpree Pro, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to access that. If you click on your profile picture here on the upper right, the second option in the menu is called Manage Pro. And this will show you a breakdown of what's included in the RentSpree Basic option and the RentSpree Pro option. So basically everything that I've covered so far is automatically included in the basic tier, which is the application and tenant screening, payments, the rental listing page, the profile page, and the contacts and messaging. With RentSpree Pro, you'll have the option to have unlimited income verification reports, document uploads, automated reference checks, e-sign documents, agent reviews, as well as priority phone support. RentSpree Pro could be an option for you if you work with a high volume of renters every single month. We do give you the option to do a 30-day free trial, so I do encourage you to take advantage of that to see if it's worth the recurring monthly investment. But again, if you work with a small volume of renters, it may make sense to just do the basic option for now. So we've covered how to access RentSpree from the dashboard, how to set up your RentSpree on your listing on Matrix, and how to add a listing and screen a tenant through RentSpree. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and go back to our presentation. And I would like to open up the floor for any questions or feedback. If you would like to see anything specific, now is the time to ask. But in the meantime, you can definitely scan the QR code to get your account set up and get up and running.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, the chat box below is open up, or not the chat box, sorry, the Q&A box is open, the chat box is closed, but use that Q&A. We'll get Stephen to answer any of those questions you might have. And in the meantime, Stephen, can I show you something really cool that you can do on the dashboard? You can share your screen still because I'm going to make you do it. And I think everybody on the webinar should do it as well. So if you go to the dashboard with all of the tiles.
Oh yeah, let me go to that. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go back to that. Let's go back to Matrix.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you click above where CoreLogic Tools is, there's 3 little dots you scroll down a little bit to the right side of your screen.
Uh-huh.
And then you're going to click copy to favorites and go ahead and heart RentSpree.
Ah,
And everybody should do this because we all love RentSpree. Click done at the top where the 3 dots were. This will add it to your favorites at the top now. So if you scroll up, you have easy access to RentSpree.
that's awesome. See, learn something new every day, Joanna. Thanks so much for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and if you guys are on the webinar using RentSpree every day, make sure you go out there, favorite it, add it to the top, so that you can easily access that. So let's see. Have you had any pushbacks from tenants who don't want to link their bank accounts?
Yes. So in that case, we do give you the option with the income verification to have them upload their pay stubs and W-2s. So they don't have to do the income verification by linking their account. They do have the option to upload those additional payment documents for verification. And that could work, for example, if you have someone who's self-employed, right? They
Yeah.
have those other documents. So they don't have to link their account. They can upload those additional PDF files that can support their case as well.
Okay. And is that something that like the tenant automatically gets to control, or would the property manager be able to set whether they want to allow that to happen or not?
Yes. So the landlord would ask them to submit that. So the landlord controls what they want to have submitted, basically.
Yeah. Whether they want to allow that to be an option or not. Perfect.
Correct.
It's great that they have the different options there.
Absolutely. And the reason for the linking the accounts is because we have seen a lot of fraud lately. So, in this day and age, it's very easy to Photoshop documents. And now the whole AI revolution, anyone can create anything and make it look super realistic.
Yeah.
So this income verification is honestly the most direct way to verify someone's finances because it pulls it directly from the source, which is the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty smart, but we can understand, that you're going to have some special cases where they either can't or they don't want to, and that's
Of course.
that's up to them.
Of course.
Perfect.
Of course.
All right, I think that's all of our questions, but Stephen, I really, like you stated, it is that one-stop shop for everything that you need. We see a lot of programs out there that offer, they'll do the tenant screening, or they will like manage the process for collecting the rent, or they do like marketing specifically for rentals, but you guys really truly are the one-stop shop for everything, and you make it seem so easy.
Absolutely. And I do want to just mention before we wrap up for today, we'd love to hear from any of you who have used RentSpree. We've done a lot of panel webinars with other MLSs in the past. So if you have used RentSpree and you do a high volume of rentals every year, we'd love to have you as a guest speaker on an upcoming webinar to share your experience. This could be a good opportunity for you to maybe get your name out there as well in the community. So I'm going to put in my email into the chat. So if you would like to reach out to me, or actually, Joanna, can I put it into the chat? I can only message the host and panelists, I think.
Oh, maybe, hold on. I will send it out to everyone. All right, so you are Stephen at
Stephen P at RentSpree.com.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joanna. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic day, and any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and hope you have an amazing week.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Thanks, Joanna. Thanks, everyone. Bye.